Welcome to the St. Anne Parish Podcast, where we bring people to Jesus, form disciples, and send them to transform the world. In today's episode, we continue with the Discern the Church series, featuring testimonies of individuals sharing their journey to the Catholic Church. We hope you enjoy this episode. Welcome to the St. Anne Parish Podcast. My name is Nicole Richards, and I am the host for the Discern the Church series. The series shares personal testimonies of individuals who have journeyed to the Catholic Church. So today I'm here with Melanie.
Hey guys.
Hello, how are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. We made it.
Yes.
I'm not sure what the order will look like for this podcast series, but Melanie is our first one who we are recording. So excited that you're here with us and willing to share your story.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. So before we begin, first, who are you? What do you do? What does your day-to-day look like? Just give us a little background about yourself before we start.
Wow. Where do I begin? My name is Melanie Diaz. I'm going to be 24 in actually a couple weeks, but so about to be 24. Most of my life I've grown up loving animals. I'm a vet tech. That's my everyday job.
Oh, so cool.
And my second job, I teach kids Taekwondo. All my life I've done the sport of Taekwondo pretty competitively since I was the age of 9, along with I was on national team many times, traveling the world doing it. So that was my whole life growing up. But yeah, that's pretty much my life right now, outside of church and whatnot.
What is your favorite animal?
Like exotic or like domestic?
Both.
Okay, I love lions. Lions are like my favorite. I think they're the most majestic, courageous animals ever. I'm a cat. If I had to pick cat and dog, cat person.
Okay.
I am.
Okay.
But definitely, those would be my favorite animals. Yeah.
Cool. Fun. Well, thanks. Thanks for sharing about yourself. So let's just dive right in. First, can you start by sharing a little bit about your faith background and how you were raised?
So my family growing up was Catholic, but me and my siblings, we grew up not in church. We didn't really know about the faith as much. We knew of God and Jesus and everything, but we never fully understood it, if that makes sense. My parents were both raised really religious, but once they were married and had us, they kind of grew apart from the faith. So I had no really faith background at all, wasn't baptized, anything. So I would say I had some knowledge of Catholicism, but never to the extent I do now, knowing about it.
Mm-hmm. So you didn't really go to any church or anything growing up?
I probably went twice my whole lifetime, from the time I was born till 23.
Okay. Okay, so when was that turning point for you? You didn't grow up with Catholicism, although it was still around you, within your family. So when was the moment where you had some interest in just Christianity in general?
Well, I think I had a family friend that had a baby recently, and they were really religious, and they were in the faith of Catholicism, and I'm really close with them, where they actually wanted me to be a godparent to them, and I knew I had to get all my sacraments in order to do that. So in a way, I think I didn't see it as a sign then, as me doing all these steps prior to getting all my sacraments as a sign. I thought I was just doing it, but I think it was the perfect time for me going through everything, because I had a lot of downfalls kind of coming up at the time that I think it's a very good sign how I came into the church in this way, because I got asked to be a godparent. That was a sign of, having that little leap of faith. And then I got to all these classes, and then I just grew more in love than I thought I would with the faith. So yeah, I don't know if that answered the question.
No, that does. So how long was that time period between the person asking you to be a godparent and then kind of taking it more seriously to get your sacraments?
I think it was a year, probably a good year into it. And the thought of it at first was a little oh, okay, maybe I'll do it. But I think a lot of life changes happened to me in that time that I was you know what, let me push forward with this and really go and try this out to see, how it would help me.
What was the first step in getting your sacraments in the process of being baptized? What was that first step? What did that look like?
Yeah, so I actually tried at another church trying to start my journey, but I got very discouraged just because I think I had that feeling of, oh, I don't know enough to go through this. It felt like I wasn't knowledgeable enough in the faith to really go through with all of it. So I got really discouraged in the beginning. I think that's why it took me a full year too, because I felt really discouraged in the beginning. I moved closer over here to St. Anne's, and I just pretty much did a simple web search, Catholic church, near me. and St. Anne's popped up. And the first, I looked through the website, tried to look for an email who I need to contact. And I contacted Stefanet like immediately. And I was like, hey, I don't know much. I have a little bit of like Catholic background, but not too much. But I do want to go down this route and get, my sacraments and everything. What do I need to do? And I hope, hoping and praying that me not knowing a lot.
Yeah, that she'll receive you, right?
Exactly. She did. And, we did a meeting, and it was an amazing meeting. I felt like the meeting made me, like, she asked what I knew, but also didn't make me feel like, oh, like, you don't know enough. So, you have a long way to go. Like, she's like, no, you don't know. That's okay. We got this. We can start here and go from there. So that's how I felt like the process from here really helped me.
Okay. I love, probably one of my favorite thing about her role is really sitting down with people and finding like, where are you at in your faith, and then helping you grow from that. One, I'm glad you felt welcomed here at St. Anne. And that you felt encouraged to continue and to seek out faith and receiving your sacraments. So going through Stefanet, you are now starting OCIA. What was your first formation through the process that we have here at St. Anne?
Yeah, so I started this process in September. So I had from September till April to crack all this down. So so we had a time crunch, well, not a time crunch, I should say, but like she was able to pull a plan out for me from the time of September, August till April, getting me baptized, which I was really grateful for. And in September, she put me in 2 different courses, one being Alpha, which was an amazing course. Blessed enough to meet my now godmother, Brittany. So she's amazing. Shout out to Brittany. I met her with Alpha, which is a really good intro to just Christianity alone. I think it's an amazing program for people like me that don't know like anything about faith, know of it, but just is curious. But, it's those questions that help them get through like, oh, I don't know enough or know anything, but it helps me get through it, if that makes sense. And then my other class that I did was Foundations, which is a great class of just the foundation of the Catholic Church teachings, which is very good. It was such a great handbook that I felt like I'm always keeping this with me at all times, a good handbook of the Catholic faith. And Jana taught that course for me, and she was amazing as well too. So I was blessed to have her too.
Yeah, I've done Alpha a few times, and it's a great place for the basic questions of Christianity, and even someone who has faith or no faith. It's a great stepping stone of going back to the basics.
Very, very good conversation too, with just people like in the same boat as you. What I love about Alpha is you can like literally know nothing about faith or maybe even be atheist to like being like a philosopher, and you're just all in the same group just talking about it, and it's all like great discussion that are valid questions and answers that everyone has for each other. So I think that's really amazing.
I agree. So where in this process did you meet Jesus? Did you encounter Jesus?
I think my first time, okay, there's actually a couple. I feel like there's multiple.
Oh, totally.
I can't really pinpoint the very first one.
Yeah, I guess maybe another, going off of your response of that is like, how did Jesus walk with you?
I think myself, along with friends and family around me, saw a visible change in me. Just day and night. I had a lot of anger, impatience with a lot of things, people that really, how do I say this? I could never forgive. I couldn't forgive in other people or myself. And I think me forgiving myself and people around me and showing the happiness and like thankfulness I have for people around me, no matter if they were at fault with me, But yeah, like I changed a lot in my relationships with those people, where I've learned to forgive the people who have hurt me, which I am really grateful for. And I'm glad I don't have that resentment anymore in my heart. And it makes me feel so much better as a person. And I feel, praying about that every day, it really does help me a lot. That would be one instant that happened to me. My first time coming to church here, Brittany actually took me with her family. I remember she's just guiding me what readings to look at, all of the Psalms to look at. She's like, okay, go to this page. Now go to this page. And I'm just like, okay, I'm keeping up. We're kneeling. We're standing. Okay. And then she's telling me how, to get the blessing from the priest and everything. And I just remember when we were listening to the gospel, we were all standing. I just felt a really warmth in me that I felt like I wanted to cry, that I was finally home. So that was another piece, I feel, that I encountered Jesus. And then the final part that I encountered Jesus was a prayer night at Alpha, where we all, I might spoil it here, but one of the nights
through Alpha.
Yeah, if you go through Alpha, you know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, don't listen to this part. But cool, we're all in a prayer circle. There's one chair in the middle, and someone can come up there and ask for a prayer. I did not expect at all to happen what happened, but I remember having a lot of hurt in my life at that night with relationships that I had. And I asked to come up in the middle, and I just start bawling, talking about how all the hard troubles I'm having with my relationships with people, family, friends. I just asked for prayer, and everyone around me placed their hand on me, and even Brittany was there to guide me through it. And as everyone's praying for me, it's all just like I'm getting like cleansed of like everything bad, and I just feel all the warmth in me. It was such an amazing feeling. Like, even though I was crying, it was such an amazing feeling, just feeling the love of God and through prayer, through people that I don't even know. Like, well, I knew from Alpha, but like people that I was spending weeks with in Alpha, handing that love over to me through prayer and through God and Jesus.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah, that's always a special night. All right. So after Alpha, after Foundations, what was the next step after that?
It was sacrament prep after that. Still doing Alpha too at the same time. I just couldn't get enough of Alpha, so I just kept doing it each semester. And they always just saw me back. They're like, "You're here again?" I'm like, "Yep, I'm here." Sacrament prep was my final class. I think what was really cool about my sacrament prep class was all the people that I was going through the whole process with, whether they were just getting confirmed or they were also getting like baptized and confirmed. Like, we were all there from Foundations to Alpha to sacrament prep, and it just felt like if you were in high school again and you just had all your, it's last day of school and our last few weeks, and you create a family and a very, very good close group of people in the same walk as you. It's so funny, when I first started this process, I was like, I'm probably going to be with a bunch of kids and like I'm going to be the oldest person. But no, like it's a lot of people are in the same boat as you, and it's really refreshing to see like you're not alone, and there's other people out there that are wanting to find faith just like you, which I think is a really beautiful thing to encounter. Sacrament prep was great too. Still great information about each sacrament, because that was another thing too. There's 8 sacraments, so it's like you got to learn about each one of them. But it was really cool learning about each one of them, and then also having just minor discussions in your groups. But sacrament prep was definitely a cool one to learn.
Yeah. So you learn them and then you get to receive them.
Yes.
So how was Easter Vigil for you? I was there. I was documenting such a celebration that Mass is, but kind of just from your perspective, how was that experience?
It was amazing. Words just can't describe how amazing it was. Like I said, when I first started this process, I really didn't think much of it. I thought, hey, I'll be a little more, I'll learn more about the faith, it's fine. But no, like I really felt something spiritually along with physically during my whole process with everything. Even my scrutinies prior to my baptism, I kept telling Brittany, I was like, every time we got those scrutinies and we were up there, like I just kept feeling a tingling sensation on my left arm. Like I just couldn't believe the physical stuff I was feeling, not just spiritually, but also physically, all the stuff I was encountering through this whole process. It was just mind blowing to me. Easter Vigil was great. I'm just in line, just waiting to get baptized over here.
Line that we have.
I know. And I'm just looking, I'm like, oh, I can't wait. And then, I came up there and I got in the water, and each dunk felt more and more free and just cleansed, and just a warm, fuzzy feeling that I'm just so happy I was able to feel, like so happy to finally be a part of, his kingdom. And I just love it. It was great.
That's so beautiful. From someone who gets to like witness that. It's just what a gift.
Mm-hmm.
And the Holy Spirit is pretty cool in that way of making itself physically known to you that like, hey, something's up. It's different here.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And so congrats.
Thank you.
Welcome home.
Yes.
Welcome to the Catholic Church.
It's so happy to be here.
What does life look like now after entering the church? Do you keep up with those who went through sacramental prep with you? I know you're doing Alpha again.
Yes. No, yeah.
Oh, you're helping out with Alpha.
I'm helping out with Alpha again. No, I mean, I've been so happy with this outcome of this decision I've made that I have dedicated myself to try to join any ministry I physically can and possibly can, given my busy schedule, to still just be involved as much as I can. I think what's crazy is, or not crazy, but what's an amazing blessing that occurred was my mom has all her sacraments. I think the only thing she didn't do was married in the Catholic Church is the only thing. But once I told her I wanted to do this, she was very happy. She was very I was very blessed that she was
supportive?
Yeah, supportive. There we go. So sorry, I'm like, what word am I thinking? She was very supportive of that, and she actually wanted to come to church with me. And since I started my my journey, she's actually been coming to church with me every Sunday, which she hadn't done the whole time I was, since I was, as long as I've been alive. I haven't seen her in church. And she finally started to go to church too. I think she also went to her first confession in probably 25 years, which is amazing. So she's kind of back at home now too with her faith, which makes me happy. Also, relationships that were at fault with before, and now that I'm not, I've actually invited them now to church with me and invited them to places with me. Very close friends and coworkers that I trust a lot. I always invite them to church too. Sometimes the conversation will come up of, how Catholicism is, how people view it and whatnot. But I think there was an important lesson I kind of learned in Foundations about evangelizing that I thought was really interesting is in order to evangelize, convert people or have them come into the faith is really show them how much God has affected you in a great way and show them how you are as a person and show them how He's done wonders in your life. And there's no denying, how your life is if you don't tell them, the good things it's done. So I feel like I follow with that a lot, trying to always tell people how Jesus Christ died for me and how He's my Lord and Savior and how He's positively changed my life for the better. Because I can tell you right now, from a year ago, I'm just a whole different person, but in such a good way that I couldn't be more happier with myself. So
praise the Lord.
Yes.
Yeah. What a beautiful witness for you to go through this entire year and also just notice all those little things, right?
Yes.
I guess speaking to yourself or whoever is listening and discerning the church, interested, questioning about Catholicism, what would be some advice for someone who is just starting to explore the church and maybe offers some encouragement that you would have wanted a year ago?
I think something I would have liked to hear myself a year ago is you are not alone, and whatever questions you have, they are always valid and they will always be answered by anyone, especially at St. Anne's. Everyone is so welcoming to questions. They do not make you feel like you are out of place if you don't know anything. If you don't know at least 10 saints, they're not going to care. They'll help you as much as you can. And I think that's a really good thing to know is you don't need to know anything in order to go through this process. And I'm glad I was able to experience that here at this parish because, like I said, I was very scared in the beginning to start this process without knowing anything, not really knowing a whole lot. And just know there's a lot of people here that will support and answer any question you may have about the faith. And I can confirm with you, even though I have most of my sacraments, I don't know everything, but it's a really great learning environment that everyone is very nice enough to, share their wisdom in the church and the faith, which I think is an amazing thing that St. Anne has to offer. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Another thing I could add to in regards to the seeking, it wouldn't ever hurt to just try it out. Like I said, everyone's very open here. Alpha's a really, really good first place if you just want something that's not as so book oriented and not so classroom oriented and more just a chill environment of just discussion, food, and people around your age, I really do think that's a good first place to seek if you're really unsure. Hopefully, if all goes well, you can build off of your great time there. And
prayer night.
Yes, exactly. So that would be my recommendation for people if they're unsure and they really don't know. Alpha is a really good place to start.
Yeah, I agree. I just want to restate what you just said about starting with not knowing. That's the whole point of discerning the church, is that you're discerning. You're coming with questions. You're opening your mind to the church and what it offers and all the things that the church is, but no one's forcing you to become Catholic. Something about us is just if you're not ready, you're not ready. Mm-hmm. If you need time, another year, no one is forcing you to say yes and be baptized at the end of the day. I think our process is really good about wherever you are in your faith coming into OCIA, we'll start from there.
Yep.
If it's starting from the very beginning, we'll start from the beginning. If it's the middle, if it's 3/4 of the way, we're here, we'll walk with you. So anyway, thanks so much for sharing your story, Melanie. Is there anything else you want to say to anyone listening?
No, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I feel like every time Stefana emails me about a different thing, I'm like, yes, sign me up. And I'm always like, yes, I'll go. So I really appreciate the time that you've given me here to come. And I'm just in a great place and couldn't be more happier than my faith. And yeah.
Well, if anyone asks you, hey, what was your journey like? You can just send them to this podcast.
Yes.
You're like, you can just listen to me talk.
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, for everyone listening, thanks for listening. And thanks to our guest, Melanie, for sharing her journey. This is one of many stories we're going to be sharing on the Discern the Church series. So subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. If this episode spoke to you, share it with a friend. And if you're curious about RCIA or the Catholic faith, you can visit stanneparish.org/RCIA or contact a Catholic church near you to get started. You're not alone, and God is at work, and the church is here to walk with you. So thanks again, and we'll see you next episode.
Bye, everyone. Bye, guys.
Thanks for listening to the St. Anne Parish podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you or someone that you know is looking to learn more about the Catholic Church, reach out to us at stanneparish.org/RCIA